I picked up an homeless on the Verrazano bridge
You're funny.
to give me a hand. It's hard to find an handy man.
So I'm at a point where I still have more to take apart in the rear suspension. I have parts waiting and a lot of cleaning and whatnot to do on the engine. I also have parts for the fork and tools to put this back together. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little advice from the comments and carefully remove the paper towels, making sure that they don't tear or leave anything. Now, I used paper towels. Why? Because that's all I had at that moment. However, I've since bought rag on a roll, which I've never seen before, but seems pretty cool. So I can tuck these into the crevices, keeping dirt out, and not have to worry about them necessarily tearing. I did knock the hell out of these rags, knock them around to make sure that they're not going to drop, you know, pieces of microfiber or whatever. I don't know, I thought the idea of microfiber rag on a roll was pretty slick. So anyway, that's the very first thing I'm doing today. The next thing I'm doing is going to require me to get an assistant. And it's kind of funny when I think about it this way, because for many, many years, I was his assistant. But now he's gonna give me a hand. I knocked out the lower race. I want to knock out the upper race, but I don't want to send it flying and hitting anything, even this rusty frame, but especially not anything back there. That'd be bad. So for that, let me set the tool up and then go and find the man, the myth, the legend, my father. Simple little tool. I think it was an Amazon. Just get it in there. Effectively loosen the bolt. That snugs everything up. I like to give it just a little tug and give it a little whack just to get it set in place. All right, she's ready to come out. Let me go find him, see what he's gotten himself up to. All right, here he is, the guy that got me into all this and got me into all this trouble. This is my father. And what I want him to do is just make sure I don't send this bearing out. So I'm gonna go nice and easy. Hopefully it comes right out, so.
It's coming.
It's coming?
Coming.
Oh. There we go.
That was easy.
Nice and easy.
Yeah.
Let's see, you think the new one's gonna go in just as easy? I got the new one right out here. I had them in the fridge because it's cold out here.
Oh, they go in more easy.
Well, you know what? I figured it's cold out here. I didn't want these things to be too much warmer than you know, out here. Going in.
Nice shot. Okay,
That's it. They're in.
Now he's done.
All right. Knock that bottom one in, and then I can get to putting the steering head back together.
That's it.
There you go.
Sounds good.
That's how it's done, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for giving me a hand in this cold weather. I'll tell you, I don't know where that man comes up with stuff sometimes. But got the bearings all greased, race is in. It should be a matter of just sliding this thing together. You know, it's a funny thing. It's a stupid thing. It's one of the smallest things. Well, not one of the smallest things, but it's a relatively small thing to be putting together. But it's always a good feeling anytime any part goes back onto a bike, right? And I also have an ulterior motive. I've got so many parts to this bike stacking up everywhere. And I'm just tripping over stuff. I'm out of room. I've got other projects that I want to do, other things that need to get done, maintenance stuff, winter stuff around the house. And literally tripping over stuff for this bike. Look at that. That is a nice feeling. Huh? I like it. I like it. I also, we're just gonna go down on this thing. Not final adjustment, but it's together. Got the forks all done, all rebuilt, but they don't have fluid in it. I did work on the top and got the parking pole freed up. So that was cool. That was just seized as shit in there. So a little of that Mopar spray, and she freed up. I'm gonna grease it though. Some of this waterproof grease, but I don't want to lose these clips because I lost them once before, and then, I lost one, and then sometime later lost another, and then sometime later when I didn't need them anymore, I turned around and they were both right next to each other on the floor. I don't know how that happens, but I'll get that top piece, grease it up. I want to see that pin actually engages. It's kind of a cool system. I get why it wasn't working, even though you would put the ignition switch to lock, because there's like a spring-loaded, or I shouldn't say spring-loaded. The rod pushes on a spring, the spring pushes on the rocker, and if the rocker's stuck, the spring pushes and doesn't move. You'll see it in a second, but it's kind of cool, and kind of cool that it's freed up. This is what I mean when I say too many projects at the same time. Parts for everything, Tour Glide seat, Fat Boy seat, forks, a whole bunch of just a frame. Where on earth did I put the big nut that goes on top of the triple tree? All right, found the nut. It was with all the headlight stuff, which at first I said, well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it was how it came apart. Anyway, so this is that rocker I was telling you. This is how the steering lock works, and it was all just seized up in there. I don't know what kind of a bushing this is. I don't know if it's plastic or whatever. This thing was all seized up. So, get a little bit of this grease, and hopefully won't seize up in the future. I don't know. We'll see. It probably won't seize up in the time I have this bike, which is basically the amount of time I have alive. So I guess it's a good thing we don't live forever. Anyway, I digress. I put some on this side too. Just, I don't know if I can get it in there. Spring out of the way. And a little bit on the top side. Yeah, that'll do. Anyway, it's kind of cool how this goes together. It's got that rounded, beveled, whatever edge, but it fits into that nut. Now, none of this thing's going together for the last time. It's just to get that pleasure of putting something together, and also to get stuff off the floor and out of my way so that I can spread out the engine parts, get to honing and everything else that's involved. I didn't put the retaining piece in because, like I said, it's not going together for the last time. Even the forks, they're not going in for the last time because they don't have oil in them. And I have bolts to cap these off. I think that's the way I'm going to end up going. I just have to cut them because this is so shallow. I didn't realize that. But like I said, here I got the forks all nice and rebuilt. Everything inside is fresh. Everything that matters polished up. Cleaned out all these holes so that this should just slide together nice and nice. There you go. Look like a motorcycle again. Fresh O-rings, fresh seals, fresh races. Just no fluid. Oh, that's cool. That is so cool. Whew. And now they're out of my way, which is the most cool thing. At least in my opinion, it's the most cool thing. Yeah, they didn't look so bad inside. I don't know if they've ever been serviced. I'll tell you what, didn't have a lot of oil in them. That, I think that's why the bushings were all like scarred up, because it did not have a lot of oil in it at all. Let's see, this one should go together. Like a glove. Well, not O.J. Simpson's glove, but like a normal glove on a normal human being that didn't murder 2 people. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, I never know when my father's gonna come up with stuff, you know. People that have worked with him will tell you he seems like that quiet guy, and you'd never guess he's the one that would be, you know, behind some jokes and stuff. Let's see if this parking pole works. So, shouldn't stick, right? Boop, boop. There we go. I like it. I like it a lot. But yeah, he'd be behind practical jokes, and you know, some people knew, but most people didn't, and it's kind of funny to think about it that way, you know. And nobody expects it. It's the quiet ones you gotta watch out for, they say, right? Oh, that was definitely the case with him. I know this was a ground. Oh, like I said, it's got to come back apart, but it's those good feelings, good vibes. This was held in place here. So, for the time being, to make it feel like I've accomplished more than I actually have, I'm gonna stick it back on. Phillips. Because it's stupid things. It's the stupid things that give us satisfaction, good feelings. I mean, for me, it's doing shit like this. For other people, it's all sorts of stuff. That little tiny thing, that little, hey, this wire is almost sort of back where it's supposed to be. Let's see. I got some work to do here. I'm thinking for like single wire connections like this. I wonder if there's enough room. I'd love to do single wire weather packs. Deutsch connectors are great, but they're a little bulkier. I'm wondering if that maybe is the way to go. Or this is behind the tank, out of the way. There's another one over here. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe if I leave those 2 and I end up with a problem, I narrow it down to just those 2. I don't know. Oil hoses are another concern of mine, because I don't want to go with like a hard line or a braided line kit, but I can't seem to find any company or any place that has the, and I'm assuming these are a molded hose from the factory, but I can't find nothing. And you'd think you'd find that, but I guess people just upgrade. I don't know. Let me know what you think. You know, is it something worth upgrading? Do I get just like raw metal lines and hope they rust up a little bit? I don't know. I would love to get fresh rubber hoses, and these might even be fine, but man, I'm gonna kick myself. Not only that, Chris is gonna kick me if I don't change something as simple as a rubber hose and it ends up failing on the road. But I digress. I think for today, I'm gonna do one last thing that makes me happy. and gets one more box and one more thing out of the way, I'm gonna pop these things on. Just because, why not? I want to say that those spacers that come in the kit are likely needed, but like I said, it's not going to be permanent. It's just going to be to get this thing out of the way. And also, you know what? Probably not the worst idea to support this swing arm while I take the brakes, the caliper off, stuff like that. It does look kind of cool though. I mean, you're not really going to see it when the bag's on, which is fine, because my main goal is I hope I feel it when the bag's on, or don't feel it. Either way. They do look cool. I think that's it. I'll pop the other one on, read the instructions, because there's definitely something missing, because this is, well, that ain't right. So, like I said, I'm the type that reads the instructions when I put something together and it doesn't quite seem right. And this is one of those times. All right, back to the boring stuff: cleaning, engine components, waiting outside in the cold for UPS or FedEx or whoever has my parts to show up. And until then, stay warm, pray for warmer weather. We have longer days coming shortly. And everybody that can, ride safe. Everybody that can't, will be riding soon. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Please continue. I look forward to talking to you all in the comments. Have a great night.